film Something Good, Negro Kiss is from 1898.
This is the first known film footage that features African-American participation.
It's amazing to start this exhibition with Something Good, Negro Kiss, because it's so early. I mean, it's almost like unimaginably early.
And this is such a powerful moment of early cinema that shows us that African-American performers have been part of American cinema from the beginning on. The film Something Good, Negro Kiss is from 1898. And it shows two vaudeville performers, Gertie Brown and Zane Suttle. And these two wonderful performers enact a courtship scene.
It really highlights this wonderful, playful exchange that is kind of a play off of Thomas Edison's The Kiss. It became a piece of work that was shown often at the end of a movie. To see this sort of notion of intimacy was quite daring and bold, but it was loved by audiences. And so it really became part of the sort of popular culture. And that is why this Negro Kiss becomes really interesting in my mind, because other cultures, other people are part of this popular culture. And then this Negro Kiss sort of shows a parallel sort of reality that's happening. And it highlights the presence of African-American performers in the late 19th century. There was this real assumption that minstrel imagery was the only way in which you experienced Black performance. And often that minstrelsy was performed by white actors in blackface to kind of create this stereotypical understanding of what Black identity or Blackness meant. And this completely throws that presumption out of the water.
We see two African-American performers in dignified outfits, really having a positive vibe, a positive performance. And that is a powerful moment, in particular when we think about it is important of how we see ourselves on screen, how can we project ourselves into a world. You need those examples.
When you think about the late 1800s, especially for African Americans, there was this conversation that was happening within the African American community, and you had leaders like Frederick Douglass, you had Sojourner Truth, W.E.B. Du Bois, who were really pushing forward this notion of modernity, of Black modernity. You have communities wanting to challenge and counterbalance these pervasive ideas that were seeped in a racist, prejudiced understanding of what Black people were purported to be.
Something Good, Negro Kiss is an example that it shouldn't have been that way because it wasn't that way only, and we can prove this with this film.
In 29 seconds, you're able to say they are dismantling preconceived notions of Blackness. They are removing these prejudiced and predominant understandings of the ways in which Black people were often being imitated and portrayed and reduced to being. That is a really powerful and very daring way of understanding and asserting yourself through film.
To know that there were Black artists who were on screen, who were in front of cameras at that time, that they were bringing all of this performance history from the vaudeville stage to this really short piece of history and culture. It's just amazing to know that it exists. It gives us almost like a fossil that says that we were here. And I think that's the thing that's most moving about that piece of footage to me.